Soundstripe. Fan Spectrum, I see you. Let's go.
All right.
We're back at the ballpark, guys. Where is he at?
You know, now that they got their ace boom coon back.
I gotta stick with MJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to say it because I'm here now.
Oh, there's my boy Cole right here. I hope Lamar Jackson smells blood in the water.
Hey,
They
that
can figure
man.
it out.
Hey, that.
Fan Spectrum, right here, right here.
Let's talk. We can talk wrestling. Because that's another. I mean, nothing
Sami
crazy is
Zayn,
going
the
on.
Sami Zayn potential flip.
Yeah, they're
Everybody's talking about
they're
they're
talking about him
teasing
flipping,
Sammy, teasing Sammy flipping.
Yeah.
I just, man, I think
feel like
I
they're-
think
Go ahead.
Roman Reigns has done such a good heel. He's doing basically what The Rock did, what Stone Cold, what they all went through, which is being such a heel for such a long time that you turn into a face. And everybody just loves you now. Now you're just a face, you know? I think that's where Roman's at this moment, where he's been the champ for so long that almost like you have to take him off of him because he kind of he needs a break. But at the same time, they could put him on for another year. And if he went face, people would love it.
Yeah.
But they're saying
I
they're
think the thing that's tough though is that once he faces The Rock, go
happened
ahead,
there?
Aaron. Go ahead, Aaron.
I said just be the same heel type character. He don't have to change.
he doesn't have to change, just
He's just
keep
so
being
fun.
himself. Mm-hmm.
And I was just saying, like, depending on the outcome with The Rock,
I
it's
don't
gonna
know,
be,
man. I don't think it's good. I don't know.
Because The Rock
I don't
can't
know
win. The Rock can't
But
win.
I don't know if Triple H is gonna go down that route anymore.
Why not?
Because I really don't like. You have so many wrestlers coming back right now. Like, I don't know if really. I mean, it is a good story, but I don't know if you're relying on your old heads to push your young talent or push the talent. I don't really think you need to. I don't really think you need it.
I wouldn't say
Maybe
that,
when
'cause
he's
it's-
off
it's
the
just
belt,
like-
maybe
it's just as big
this
as
is
when
one
The
of
Rock
those.
faced Hogan.
But
Like,
this
it'd
is
be
the
just
thing.
as big
You
as
can't
that.
have him. You can't have. Yeah, but you see, The Rock's been passing the torch to everybody. Like, The Rock's already passed it to John Cena. So, like, you can't have The Rock now pass the torch to Roman Reigns. Like, he's just the inaugural.
But I don't want to
pass the
say
torch
it's
to every
passing the
guy.
torch. That's what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah,
think
but that's
it's
what people
passing
would
the
take it as.
torch. Nah, I'd look at it like it was The Rock against Hogan. But when that match happened, that match was like two just generational wrestlers that were at the peak. You know, one was at its peak, the other one is still kind of going and can still be considered and was considered one of the best wrestlers ever. And then going at it at Mania, like, come on.
I
bro,
mean,
that's
look, this is
really
how
what
I
it
say it.
was.
If they do the head of the table thing, it'll be when Roman doesn't have the belts. They can't do it with Roman having the belts because I don't think it doesn't work.
But you don't do
That's
it at
a
any
paper-
other pay-per-view.
I know,
Like,
but that's what I'm saying. But that's something where you can still, right? This could be a whole downfall thing. This could be, right? Roman loses the titles, the Usos keep them, right? And then the Usos are like, well, we're better than you, and they kind of walk away. But he still keeps this like tyrant. I'm the head of the table.
but the thing is,
I'm
too,
still the best. And then The Rock comes out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
the
You know what
thing
I'm saying?
is,
And
too,
then
is like you
that
still
happens.
have a lot of story you can do within the bloodline that they haven't done. Like the whole Solo Sequoia thing is still
Exactly. Where you
that's
can
still
make him
something
turn
where
on
he
them.
could still, yeah, he could still be.
He could be the one that
It's not
turns.
even really. It's not even that he's really the head of the table. It's
He's just the
like
quiet one.
exactly.
He's the one you got to
and it's
watch out
like,
for.
You still have him. You still have you know, you have a lot of things.
I
you
mean,
can do.
they can do the whole turn on him because Roman is so behind Sammy. It would make sense that the Usos and Sequoia were just like, yeah,
And I
don't fuck with
really,
that,
I
and they
really
turn
don't
on him.
think, I really don't think you get Sammy to turn either, because this has been like
Sammy's
one
just-
of the heights. This is like
yeah,
the peak of
Sammy's
Sami
doing really
Zayn.
good. Yeah, this is really good for
You
Sammy.
can't. I mean, granted,
They can
Triple
turn
H
him.
is different. I will say
They
Triple
could-
H is different than Vince. So maybe if
They
Sammy
can turn
was
him and they
also-
bring back the old Sammy because the old Sammy worked and they just fucked it up. They turned him to the grumpy, with the long hair and the beard. Come on, bro. Everybody was out here chanting, doing the song of Sami Zayn every time he came out when he was with the short hair. Like, come on, man. Everybody rocked with
He's
Sammy.
good on
bro.
NXT. Yeah, he's an
Yeah,
NXT
everybody
guy.
fucking rocked with
Yeah.
Sammy, man. And they just
Yeah.
kind of like became what happened. What Vince did is he brought everybody up from NXT too fast and had too many big players to the point where he didn't know what to do with them. So he
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of shitted on them all,
Look
which
at
has
Neville.
happened.
Neville
Oh,
was the shit, and they fucking ruined his
Shinsuke.
ass.
Shinsuke should have been a
Shinsuke,
champion and should
um,
have had it for a year because
Bobby
everybody was out
Roode,
here,
Bobby Roode, like
dude.
yeah,
Easy, bro. Like
Yeah, they
easily could have.
thought that it's like I don't know if it was just like he just wanted to crap on them dudes because
it was Triple H's
he
boys.
just like it was Triple H's boys and he just didn't like all those NXT guys. But if you look at it now,
Hey,
because Triple H
Triple
brought
H just
on,
signing people back on.
but I feel like, dude, you're signing way too much guys. Like
At this point,
some of
yes,
these guys I
he's
don't care about. Like
very
you know,
true.
what I mean? Like I mean, I know a lot of people like Johnny Gargano, but this dude, I don't see it. I don't
They're
see
just
what
trying to
like.
I think that's a force move. I think they're
Well,
just
it's
trying to. I think
also
they're
it's
forcing
also
that
hard. It's also hard when you have Roman Reigns being champions and
for
then
this long
yeah, like
and
you
has
can't.
both titles at that.
And then the Usos have both too. It's like it's these guys are just overlooked because it's like, well, what? Who cares?
They're the talk. Hey, Roman Reigns and the Usos are the talk of the town, bro. That's just
Yeah,
it
they
right now.
are. They run
And
the
Rome
show.
and Triple H is just he's being very conscious on how he's making his moves. Like he's just like I think he's bringing in players
It's
because
that's a tough move
when
because
they
whatever he
fall
does is a
off,
big domino effect.
that's what I'm
It's
saying. I
crazy.
think, and that's what I think that's what he's preparing for. I think that's why he's bringing in so much talent and bringing in re-signing people because when Roman falls, it's like what the fuck happens now? Like the WWE universe will be like, okay, so now the titles are unleashed. How are they gonna do it? How are they gonna split them up? Does he lose both in that one night? Is it a Money in the Bank kind of thing? Is it like what do they do? And I think that's what he's preparing for. I think he's just preparing for the
Which
Roman
is
fall.
why I still think it's good to have The Rock there because it's like he's the only one that can really do it. I mean, you had your chance with Brock many a times. You had your chance with John Cena
I'm
many a
tired of
times.
Brock.
Well, the
Right.
thing is,
The only guy that gets to
yeah,
do it is The Rock.
he's pretty much beating everybody on that dang roster. You know what I mean? Probably he has
They either bring the
maybe Cody Rhodes or
that's one I was thinking. Cody. I really like the idea of the Usos and Sequoia turning. I do like that idea.
Yeah, but
And it being the
I
reason
don't
why
know.
he loses because usually there's an interference and
Yeah.
he's been because yeah he's beating everybody but there's been times where he's almost pretty much lost and they've been an interference to help him win.
I just think the whole the whole storyline between having The Rock there is gonna be really interesting because that's gonna be like, well, what's
It
what
could be it could be a night one starter that leads to a fight into night two. Like it could be
uh,
one of those things. Because I mean it could be a triple threat match that they might set up that
yeah.
whoever pins what wins the title.
They haven't
Whether
done
it's a
that.
smack
They
where
haven't done that in a
they have
while.
one SmackDown wrestler, one Raw wrestler, and however he gets pinned, right,
Mm-hmm.
is how that title gets relinquished, right? So you could see something along the lines of that where he loses one title and then they go right back into that same match and then he loses the second title
Kind of like how they
where
did
then
with Seth Rollins at Night of Champions.
yeah, and then at that point it's like, well, I'm still the head of the table, blah blah blah. And then the Usos turn their back because they win or they keep their titles or and
Would
then
you
the Rock
guys
comes out, at that
would you
point, and he's like,
where do you guys put Roman Reigns as far as like top wrestlers ever?
ooh.
ugh, no, I can't do that. I don't know if that it's still too early to say.
I don't
It's
think
not. It's
so,
not.
man. I
Actually, no,
mean,
it's not.
it's
He's had a
not.
long career. You're right.
As
He's had a
far
long career.
you gotta think about it, he's
Um.
part of one of the greatest factions ever in both senses, both the Bloodline and the Shield.
Yes, very true.
He's won Royal Rumbles. He's I don't know how many time championship. He's got both of them at one time
Yeah,
and
but you gotta
single
also
handedly.
see the way I see it is he wasn't. We all know it wasn't at the beginning. It wasn't
It was
organically pushed
forced,
though.
yeah.
It
No,
was
no, I
forced.
agree.
So
That's my problem with him.
is he?
He
He's
just
a
has a character.
well
Just has a character.
now
Yeah.
we're enjoying him because he finally knows how to work the mic.
Right.
He's got this chip on his shoulder. We're getting
But
to enjoy
it's
what
funny.
Roman should have
It's
been
funny.
years ago.
His story is so similar to The Rock's in so many ways. Because it's literally how The Rock, nation domination is probably the same as the Shield. He got an Intercontinental title and still got booed. And, it was a gimmick that he didn't even want to do. and he was forced to become something, and then he became himself, did his own thing, where it became, you know,
Went from
more
Rocky
natural,
Maivia to The Rock.
and then became The Rock, and that's kind of similar to what Roman Reigns. It's a similar kind of story with Roman Reigns. It's funny how that kind of works. I mean, not thinking about it, I never really thought about that deep, but that's kind of how I see it. It's kind of a similar story.
I think just Rock was on another level.
Yeah.
Especially at the height of the time that it was, right? Because it was the Monday Night Wars.
Oh yeah, and you got Austin.
I think
yeah, that's true.
Austin. I think that's what really helps. I think what helps Rock's case is that
you could still say it's similar to with. I mean, you got AEW, like, you know what I mean. Like, it's
I
not
guess
like,
yeah, still okay. Yeah,
it's not like
it's not that far different.
right.
I mean, the biggest thing is though, I
yeah.
don't. Okay, I guess if
It-
we looked at this years from now, it could be because I look at it like, can anybody really how Rock and Stone Cold were? Does Roman have
doesn't.
second person besides like
Yeah,
the only thing I could really think is Seth, maybe, right? Like, Seth is the closest thing. They're trying to really do Bray Wyatt right now, right? They're pushing Bray a lot, but there's no right now at this moment. There's really nobody that's Roman on that same level. With at least Brock, right, was the next big thing. But then we're talking about a guy that's been in the thing for a while, so there really nobody at this moment that's like that. How The Rock had Stone Cold. That's why I would say The Rock, because he had a battle with the likability and bro, not even, and beyond that, fucking DX, like DX as a faction, like was a big thing in that time too. Like in that whole period, freaking
Undertaker,
Mick
Kane,
Foley.
Mick Foley,
Yeah, like so many big, like to me, like where I'm just
big
like
names. Yeah.
that I look at it now, and again, can you do that now with certain wrestlers? Yeah, you got Seth. You got some names in there. You can't deny Seth, bro.
No,
You
Seth's not.
cannot
I
deny
won't.
Seth.
But I
I
get what your
see
argument
Aaron
is.
doing
I
the
get
thing.
no. I get what your argument is that it was a lot harder to be known and relevant as a wrestler than it is now. I feel like it now. It's like, I mean, let's be honest. Who are we really going to compare? Like, you can't. There's really no names where if I go down the line like 10 years from now, I'm like, dude, Seth Rollins, like storylines are what make these wrestlers badass in my
exactly.
eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Back then there were so many storylines I could remember that shaped these wrestlers up. I mean, it was dope to see these guys become gimmicks, don't get me wrong, but the storylines between Matt Hardy and Edge was crazy. The storylines between Kane and Undertaker, just that
Friggin'
alone is what's crazy.
Batista and
They don't have that
Evolution with
now.
Triple H.
Yeah, they don't have that now. The only storyline that there is Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns from the Shield. That's the only one that's running. That is probably the biggest one. But other than that, no one cares about, I mean, in the bloodline right now, that's it. And the
That's right.
bloodline, that's it.
Builds the characters, group
Mhm.
as well as groups, like having groups, because you can create friction within the group, and that's
Mhm.
really interesting. And they don't have that anymore. That's why Sami Zayn is getting so much pop now, like right now, because he's in a group with the hottest group in the WWE right now,
That's true.
and creating friction within the within the group. And when you have that, it turns out to be entertaining TV.
You're not.
And
Yeah,
I think they had something
That's my
going
only-
with this
that's my only-
faction.
yeah.
What was the faction with what this faction I kind of not forgot about, but that's big right now. Besides the Usos, we got
New
Rhea,
Day?
we got
New Day.
no New Day won the NXT tag teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Judgment Day. I just think like I think they're still keeping the Judgment Day along. I think we're obviously getting ready for what Ray and
his son Dominic,
his son Dom for WrestleMania, because I think that's just gonna happen eventually. They're gonna announce that might be Ray's last fight for all we know, right? Retirement looks like that's the best way to go out. But I feel like that's a big thing too that WWE's lacking on. That's where they should have gone with this. I mean, I like the whole Sami Zayn story right now with Kevin Owens. I really don't get it in a sense. Like, you could have went anywhere else with this. I think this would have been the perfect face time to kind of turn them against the Judgment Day and be Judgment Day versus the Bloodline. Like, that's what it should be. That's what WrestleMania should be. Because that's like, it just makes the perfect sense. You have a bunch of stars just facing each other, a faction that destroyed Edge, and maybe this is what who knows what they're gonna do with Edge if Edge is coming back, and maybe they bring Edge back WrestleMania, and that's that thing, Ray and Edge for WrestleMania. So, but I think they're sleeping on Judgment Day. They should take advantage of Judgment Day and put them against the Bloodline.
I like Judgment Day. Triple H has done a wonderful job with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because when you think of WrestleMania, think of big names. This is why they talk about The Rock, and you know what I mean. Actually, I just had this conversation the other day. I was like, why don't they have Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns in WrestleMania? Because it's one of the hottest storylines right now. Sami Zayn is getting probably his biggest pop ever, but it's like, who really wants to see that as a main event? You know what I mean? Like you saying Judgment Day versus Bloodline. It looks cool maybe for like a SummerSlam, but who really wants to see that?
But that's a storyline
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from a storyline where you're getting that face turn.
But that's the thing.
Perfect.
That's the thing.
You want the big names. I guess you want.
You got Finn Balor though. It's not that he's not a big name, but if you build the story right, you can have. Yeah, I think you can. There's really nothing else. Who do you have then? Cody Rhodes is really what you're looking for?
As far as a
shit out there, really, that challenge Roman, bro. Besides exactly what Roman says, The Rock, and that's. But to me, I just don't like that though.
I would go either The Rock or Sami Zayn. I like the Sami Zayn.
I like the Sami Zayn turn, and it'd be Sami because they're gonna they'll bring that Daniel. They're trying to get the Daniel Bryan kind of vibes back. That's what I feel like if they was Sami. They're trying to get the yes movement through Sami.
The thing is, it goes back to like there really are no big names, and I think that goes back to there really isn't. It goes back to that's one thing I think that is what I'm kind of skeptical with Triple H.
CM Punk's coming back.
Well, he could, yeah, but that's the only issue I have with Triple H is I don't know if he's good at telling story, like having good storytelling. Because in NXT you really didn't have that. You know what I mean? I didn't see the only one I could think of was the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
The betrayal, the standard betrayal.
That's the only, and I guarantee you that was all Sami Zayn's idea. That wasn't Triple H's. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's my only issue with. I think that's gonna happen in the long run is that no one's gonna be attracted to these guys because no one really cares.
Right.
Like I don't care about.
Which is why
I really don't.
Which is why the titles. Which is why the titles have to drop off of him. Which is why it shouldn't.
But then you're gonna go. Then you go right back to what they just were, and it's gonna be boring.
It's gonna just be hard to like. That's why I think he's trying to bring as much people, which is again the domino effect.
Yeah.
But man, I think that's I'm not surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if they did try to bring back CM Punk.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think he'll have a good run. I don't think he'll be
a CM versus like
I don't
Seth,
think he'll
kind
be,
of
he'll
for like
like
into CM versus Seth, two Illinois kids.
Yeah.
Two Illinois
that'd
guys.
Be cool. I just don't think he'll be like as relevant as like he won't
Gunter?
be like a Shawn Michaels type of vibe, Maybe. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't even know who this guy. I don't watch wrestling on the daily, as you guys probably know. I get it. I hear.
Give John Cena the belts.
Nah,
would you be mad if John Cena won the belt? Just on like
it'd be he break the record, so I wouldn't be mad. It'd be kind of cool.
I think that's what I think they want to give Cena a belt just one more time. This is the perfect time to like split the belts. Like
yeah, he's gonna get a belt.
He's coming back for his right. He's coming back for the January 30th, right?
Last match,
SmackDown or
last SmackDown.
I just look at the team. You look at the roster, and I'm like,
I love
man. That's what I'm saying. There's no
AJ Styles. They just think there's just no stories that like they don't. There's no story right now that doesn't that makes sense.
They're trying to be. The problem is they're trying to compete too much with AEW. AEW does the same thing. It's all factions. And the problem is AEW has a little bit more writing with it. Like, not even.
I think
they really don't. Like MJF isn't really having a storyline.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What
he's
worked
just
for them exactly. What worked for AEW was the return of MJF because everybody just loves his mic work.
But they love the factions of, you have Kenny Omega with the Young
Yeah, but,
Bucks.
be
That
honest,
stuff's
people are
dope.
tired of the fucking Young Bucks, bro.
And I
Like,
agree, but that's exactly
they
what
the
WWE's
elite.
doing.
I love
It's
That's
like,
exactly what's going on with the WWE.
I mean, I love Kenny Omega as a wrestler, and I love the Young Bucks as wrestlers, but I am tired of the elite, like being the headliners. Like I just you have some good stuff going right. You have good tag team champions. I guess the whole trio. They get what I don't know if they won it yet or they're going to fight for it, but they got the trios championships right now for AEW. So it's like with Cero Miedo and like in their faction, whatever their faction is. But it's just like I like the tag teams right now. I love the tag team champs right now. Like the tag team champs are money.
Yeah,
The acclaimed is the acclaimed is fire. They're on fire right now. So like you can't really take the belts off them. But they have a lot of talent too, where they're just like, well, what do? You have Adam Cole, like, and they really haven't done nothing with
Brian
him.
Danielson.
You got Brian
Well,
Danielson.
Well, they did suffer a lot of injuries.
Yeah, a lot of them are hurt.
Daniel Bryan was hurt at one point. CM Punk was hurt. They were like going. I think Hank hurt. Like they were hitting with getting injured. Like
that'd be a crazy
but
back.
that's what I'm going. But that's what I'm saying. Like there's no storytelling no more, and I feel like that's the problem. Like everyone's just throw this guy, and it's like, dude, where's the build up? Like,
Well,
they're doing the punchline.
I think AEW is doing good with the Starks and MJF. I do like that because they were just both shit talkers, kind of both heels, like both going for attack. So I like AEW's right now where they're at with theirs, but I just don't know where with WWE. I just don't know where you go with Roman because it's Roman right now. Like it's the Roman Empire. Everybody's loving it more now.
I think he's just gonna still be a Heyman guy, which is
fine because I think that's good because I
don't need Heyman.
I think they did the Heyman tie because it was the push to get him what he needed, like the heel push, and just to have something that sticks for a name, right? Like I think you think Heyman guys, you think CM Punk, you think Brock Lesnar, they're successful wrestlers in their time. Why not add somebody like Roman? Like it works. Like it was one of those things like, hey, Paul, you don't mind putting your sticker on Roman, right? And it was just like, yeah, like it works because Paul Heyman made up for a lot of what Roman was with the mic work. Like Paul Heyman was just like, I'll talk. You just wrestle. I'll do a lot of the talking for the most part. And then Roman kind of started getting better with his mic work. And then he got this swagger of just like, I'm the best. And it really popped off when he was just like, when he was with Brock and he was like, these are my people. These are my fans. Like, this is on my camera. They work for me. These people here, they love shouting me. Like, that's literally when we're like, okay, Roman Reigns finally getting his mic work down. Like, it's kind of like, they're like, all right, this is what I think that's kind of what everybody turned to.
But the big test is he hasn't really faced anybody. Or that's another thing where the mic skills in WWE have gone away. You know what I mean? The only guy I can really think of that really talks that could be challenging against Roman is Kevin Owens. He's the only one where even Kevin Owens like
Sammy's pretty good. Sam's pretty good.
But that's what I'm saying. Sammy's with him. Like it's
Sammy, Seth is Seth. It's sometimes. I mean 50-50. Even what's his name? Even Cody Rhodes though is like kind of a 50-50 on the mic kind of guy too, I think Cody Rhodes coming back was great, but I think he was too much of a really be like, oh, it was cool. The comeback was cool, but now he's been hurt for so damn long. It's like, oh, when Cody comes back, it's Cody.
We can agree that Roman Reigns isn't like top 10 of all time, or what?
I think he is.
You think he is?
Top 20.
Yeah, I could say top 20.
Top 20?
Actually,
top
maybe
10. I say top 10 and he's number 10.
Really? That's tough.
Maybe 11 and top 10, number 10.
I say he's top. I say he's top 30. I don't even put him 20. I'm sorry.
We do a thing where
I can't say 20.
For me, there wasn't I can't name a match. Like,
I guess you're right.
I can't name
20,
a match.
Yeah, that's
where I'm like, dude, I remember that Roman Reigns match. To me, there really isn't.
No, you're
I
right.
I
I'm
can't.
full of shit. I go 25,
You know what I
30.
mean? Like
20.
I can name you
I
my
can't
favorite.
20s. I go
I
Aaron
can name
20
you.
for sure.
To me, it's 30. I can't name you one Roman Reigns
Can
match.
you
I'm like,
name
dude, that's
me?
fucking.
I guess can you name me 20 wrestlers better than Roman
Oh yeah,
Reigns?
I can.
We
Let's
could
see.
do
Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, RVD, Stone
Rob
Cold
Van
Steve
Dam. Wow.
Austin,
Let's say
The
modern era
Rock.
too, right? So we're not going like as far as the bag as Andre the Giant, or I mean,
No. I
those are
have
obvious.
Shawn
Like to me,
Michaels, Triple
hmm
H, Undertaker,
Bret
Kane,
the Hitman Hart,
Bret Hart. Who else?
Edge.
Kurt Angle, Edge. You got trying to think who else.
There's a lot.
Brock
It's just
Lesnar, um,
Mick Foley,
McFoley.
Kane,
I said Kane.
say Undertaker too, right?
Yeah. I'll even say Daniel Bryan.
The Hardy Boys,
Hardy
Matt Hardy, Jeff
Boys,
Hardy,
both of them. Who else?
DX as a
I'll even say
faction.
Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins is better than Roman Reigns. Chris Jericho.
I think Seth Rollins.
I think Seth
Why
Rollins is
this man
dude,
hates
Seth
you hate
Rollins.
Seth. You
Seth
hate Seth
Rollins.
so
Seth Rollins jumped on top of a fat dude and did a backflip on a wrestler. You gonna tell me Roman Reigns could do that? Come on, bro.
John Cena.
That's where I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
John Cena's way better
We're
than Roman.
talking
Come
about
on, man.
I'm
If we're
talking about wrestling. I'm talking about wrestling, bro.
I'm talking about wrestling, but Mike
getting
skills,
down.
all that
I'll
story.
even put
wrestler. Like Stone Cold is probably one of the best wrestlers because
Stone Cold's top 5.
he was he didn't have to.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels top 5.
All he did was brawl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in the ring, he was really good when he was
All right.
the ring master. So I'm trying to
top
see,
5.
is it character or is it wrestling?
We're looking
It's
at.
all-
I
it's
think
all together,
it's all
man.
together.
I
You can't
look at
really
all
just do
together,
wrestling.
bro. Because
It's got to be mic work
Seth
too.
Rollins, hell, definitely not better than Roman Reigns. He is definitely not better.
I think he had. Well, I mean, he
I think
had
he's
better
way
mic
better.
work than Roman, and he
Oh,
had a
and he's
better,
a better
and
wrestler,
and he
bro.
and he had a
Come
great
on,
heel
Yeah,
arc.
bro.
His heel was
He is a
amazing.
better wrestler, but not a better. I don't think he's a better entertainer than Roman Reigns.
I mean, he was.
Dude, the
You
biggest.
say that, but nobody like you say that. But let's be honest though. Seth's like first heel arc and the
was
whole
great.
thing was
Yeah.
amazing.
It was
And-
amazing.
right? And let's be honest, Seth's been on like he was kind of carrying the show for
He's
a while
always, dude.
until
He was.
Roman now, until
Yeah.
Roman now.
But even then, like if it's not Roman on TV, it's Seth doing something, and I'm
Exactly.
like, okay, like
And that being said,
Oh,
like you're still
Seth-
Seth's getting all these.
The Seth now is trash. I don't think he's
Oh,
funny.
come
I
on.
don't get it. I don't get his. I don't get what is he, Riddler? I don't know what is his character. He's always like and then he's like talking and
I get you. I get you. The laugh is weird. I completely agree. But it's the
Still
same
has
thing.
one of the coldest
It's the same
entrances
thing
though.
to me. It's the same thing to me. Is like, why the hell is Undertaker driving a motorcycle? Like, come on, bro. Don't make no sense. I get it. Trust
Keep
me.
rolling.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, they're
All
gonna
right,
have
so
their phases, but they're still gonna kick
top
ass.
five wrestlers. That unless if you want to get spicy, we could put them in the order.
like
or-
we should
No, I'll just do top 5. I can't
Top
do it.
5. So go to your top 5s.
You want me to go first?
Let's go, Aaron. Aaron, what's your top 5?
That's tough for Aaron.
Oh, my top 5 wrestlers. Ooh, let me see. Definitely. Well, Bret Hart's definitely my best wrestler of all time. Like
Wow. Okay.
Bret, Shawn,
Okay.
Rock,
Mm-hmm.
Sting,
Oh, wow. Did not see Sting coming.
and it's between Stone Cold
I was about to say, I thought Stone Cold would be a lock.
Stone Cold or Triple H.
The game's returns were always the best. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They were-
He always, when he came back, it was awesome.
That's hard.
Triple H is top 10, but not a top 5 for me.
Triple H.
Yeah, not a top
I mean,
5.
he's been at a point where he was like pretty much a top heel for like a long
He was.
time. And he had some great feuds with like Rock, Stone Cold, Shawn Mike. Like he
Mhm.
has great feuds. Like
It's true.
I feel like it's really
not top
hard
5.
to find a top heel guy
That's true.
like
And he's
Triple H.
good.
I mean,
He's a
Roman
good-
Reigns doing it now, but
Yeah, he's a good corporate. He was good corporate too. I
he
ain't gonna lie.
was Triple H's.
But
probably-
I just
one of
not top 5 for me. Yeah, I feel
He
you.
is. I give you that. That's for sure. What about you, Rome? Top 5.
Oh man, I'm gonna go Eddie Guerrero. I'm gonna go Undertaker. I'm gonna go.
Eddie under. Okay.
I'm gonna go. Shit, The Rock.
Mhm.
I'll go.
Bing bong ding dong Stone Cold Hi.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'll go. Man, that's tough. The last 2, I don't know where to go with it.
So
You know what?
you said Undertaker,
Eddie
Eddie,
Guerrero.
Rock,
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go Shawn Michaels.
Sean.
I feel like
Okay.
Shawn was always.
Besides being
always had.
a dick in the beginning of his career, he definitely panned out really nice.
Yeah.
Those 2 Undertaker WrestleMania matches with Sean are like still
Dude,
one of my top 5
the match where
WrestleMania matches.
him and Ric Flair was crazy.
Mhm.
Him and just anybody you put him
The triple
against was
threat match
awesome.
with him, Cena, and
He was.
Triple
That's what I'm
H.
saying. He was always Showtime. Like that dude was always, and he wrestled his ass off. Last spot, man, is tough because I can go a lot of ways with this. I don't know, man. That's tough.
Come on, make the tough decision,
I'll
man.
probably say Austin. Yeah.
Stone Cold. Okay.
Or
Eddie.
for
I
me,
really my thing is I wanted you picked Eddie, and was that just because that's a personal because obviously you're growing up Eddie, and you just think or is there real
it was
Eddie is a top 5?
I think he's tough. I think he's a great wrestler and great on the mic. Like he was like I remember watching him as a kid. That shit was hilarious. Everything he said. I think he
Always
wrestled
throwing
his
the
ass
chair,
off.
hitting the chair on the ground and throwing
Yeah.
the chair, and being
He embodied just like what it was to be a Latino in wrestling in general. We didn't have, no one really to look at like that, and he wasn't a typical luchador too.
Him and Ray.
He didn't have a mask or anything like that, so it was like he was just being him. Like he wasn't like I don't know. I just felt like he was just kind of like he wasn't a stereotypical, but he was also like himself. Like I don't know, it was just hard to explain, bro. Like he did his own thing. Like it was dope. And just like the matches he has were dope, and his storylines were crazy too. Like
The whole Dominic kills his son.
Yeah, that and him and John Cena's feuds were crazy.
Him and his Brock feud.
Yeah,
Win it
so
all. And
yeah, and I think you could tell he was just really passionate. It was just tough on my last one because it's like I like Austin, but I don't know, man. I feel like with Austin, man, it was just too much like rah rah. Like it wasn't like he talked his ass off, but it was just too much. It was good, but it's just like to me, it was just like it was just too. It wasn't. I don't know. It was just too much rah rah for me. Like you know what I mean? Like which was dope at times, but other times just like all right, like the what's are enough. Like I can only take so many what's. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know. So it was between Austin or RVD for me because RVD did some crazy shit too. Where I was just
I don't know where it's at. I have an autograph from RVD, and it was like 5-star. Like it was a 5-star something from Mr. Monday Night Raw, and it was his signature.
No,
I had an
RVD is another one for me because he would do some crazy just. His 5-star frog splashes were dope. Rolling Thunders, freaking throwing chairs at you and kicking you. Like it was just like. It was dope. Like I remember seeing him, and I'm just like, bro, like that dude's, and he was swole too. Like he wasn't just like, he wouldn't like he would lift your ass and do some crazy. That's why to me Seth Rollins is like dope because I even put Seth Rollins top 5. I just
okay. All right, so let me go to my top 5 before we continue that conversation.
When's the last time you could see a man do a Falcon Arrow just so smoothly, like every freaking match? I mean, come on, bro.
I put Randy Orton before I put Seth Rollins in my top 5.
no mames.
Alberto Del Rio before.
Alberto Del Rio is good too. No, Alberto. Hey, you can't front. I think Alberto Del Rio is just he got no mic skills. So
Alberto was pretty good. A good technical wrestler. Top 5 for me. I like the Taker pick, so I'm gonna put Taker in there. Rock, Stone Cold, Sean, and John Cena.
You're lame. You're lame.
I gotta put John in there, man. I grew up with John, bro.
He's definitely in the top 10
John is great. Don't get me wrong. Like on the mic,
you gotta think John
comes to the
growing
matches.
John. I mean, so when I hear that, right, when it comes to the matches, I think is because he was the number one guy for so long. It just was so repetitive. Like you just knew what to expect. It was the same moves. There was nothing.
And my thing is like you can even argue that with The Rock. The Rock was the same thing. Rock, he had a couple matches where he would do the same. He do the people's elbow, the rock bottom. That's
I feel
fine.
like it aligns. It aligned. Those guys can wrestle, but the thing is, it aligns with their characters. You know what I mean? Like The Rock is not going to do high. He did that as Rocky Maivia, but The Rock did not do high flying and all these weird, like all these impressive people because he was The Rock. He was too cool for that. Like he was going to show off his elbow for the people. Like he was going to do.
Yeah, he was a showman.
Okay, but then you look at guys like Chris Jericho who could do that.
No, my thing. Oh shit! Fuck that. Why did nobody whole time? Why did none of us put Chris Jericho?
I forgot.
I take out Cena, I put Chris Jericho.
Like,
but that being said, though,
Chris Jericho was the same way. Like he would talk shit, and he still had a little meat on him. He could still look.
No, but the biggest thing was
he could still, he still
you this guy.
He could still swole. He could still lift your ass, and then do flips
so this is the problem.
On top of it too, and he would do hardcore shit. Like it was just I don't know.
What hurt Cena is he had to go through the PG era as the number one guy. That's all that hurt him. Like we see Cena when he first came out, rocking. Hey, Cena like that. Cena when he first came to Raw as the champion. The champ is here. Cena. Amazing. Those were the best runs. And when he got hit with that PG era, that ruined everything. He became the run down the field, hey, like speaking in Japanese, all this stuff. Like, it's just PG era is what hurt Cena. That's the only thing that hurt him because Cena, like I said, Word Life, the Doctor of Thugonomics, right when he beat JBL and went to Raw and was the champ, that was prime Cena. We all knew it. Like that was Cena. That Cena was untouchable. And the fact that he had to go through the PG again, he was running. He was a champion for a long time. And then he had to go through the PG era being the champion. They changed his moves from the shut the fuck up to the attitude adjustment to they changed all of his move names. And then he went from, being the Dr. Thugonomics coming out rapping on people to, hey, what's his slogan? I don't even remember what slogan is now, never give up, that guy. And again, nothing wrong with it. But the PG era is what destroyed Cena.
Well, that's literally what it is. But it's still. I don't even know. I don't even say that because you still got guys like CM Punk who pushed that line and made it relevant, and still, granted, he got kicked off. But
CM Punk was a process, though. CM Punk was in wrestling for a long time.
That's fair.
And then became CM Punk, right? Like the straight edge shit didn't work for CM Punk. Nobody liked that when he was a straight edge. Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, the CM Punk stemmed from real life events because remember he really did want it to leave. He really did have problems.
The pipe bomb.
And Vince gave him the mic to hey, you have one shot to get this through, and and we know it as the pipe bomb today. You know what I mean? With Cena, even through the PG era, you can't tell me there was nobody more entertaining than Cena. Like when he got on TV, you wanted to see who he was gonna freaking talk on the mic against because he was the show. Without him on the show was stale. You couldn't have a show without Cena, even in the PG era.
And the biggest thing is there wasn't any. Cena was going through what Roman's going through now. There was nobody that could fight Cena.
Yeah. because you had guys like Randy Orton, but Randy Orton was not great on the mic. You know what I mean? You had Batista. Batista's not great on the mic.
Mhm.
Edge is pretty good. He's pretty good on the mic, but you didn't have enough guys like that can match a Cena.
Well,
It was literally like been there,
Vince,
done that.
But that's just where Vince messed up, dude. He was all
But that's
about
what's
having
literally the
muscle
same
instead
thing.
of
Yeah,
people with
but it's the
muscles.
same thing though. Like that's literally what Roman's going through right now. It's it's
Right.
such a big
Pretty
star
much, yeah, that's a good
where you're
point.
just like, what do you do? Like, okay, let's just bring this person into the mix. And it was like, okay, you can't have him lose. Like, you can't have Cena lose to him because he's weak and he beat all these bigger guys. Like, so Cena, what he come out, you know, 5 knuckle shuffle, FT, you know, attitude adjustment, call it a night. And I was like, okay, on to the next. Because it became repetitive because it was nothing different. Like, he's just that big of a star. Like, dude's still the number one, you know, Make-A-Wish person, and he's not even really active in wrestling like that. He's still number one in Make-A-Wish, you know?
Nobody's
like,
breaking that record.
dude, it's crazy. Like,
full circle there.
Bro, like that's nuts. So like, yeah, bro, like that's why I picked Cena in my top 5 because like, bro, come on, man, like he going through this, Roman going through that right now. Like Cena was, it was hustle, loyalty, and respect. That's literally the Cena slogan. That was what it is. But like, man, word life, you telling me the doctor of thugonomics, bro?
Don't get me wrong. Like I was hyped.
He beat Big Show,
hyped, yeah.
and he has
Eddie
matches.
Guerrero.
He
Yeah.
beat Big Show when he won his United States with the chain by cheating. Like he hit him with the chain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you know, he had his whole run against JBL, which kind of had that face turn, and then like he was still being ghetto.
I think
like,
Eddie's was better. I don't know. I liked Eddie's better with JBL, but no, I get it.
Eddie's with Brock was the best. Like, because that was the vulnerable Eddie of being like, I was, you know, almost. That's when he has that speech where he was like, I was almost fired. Like, you know, I lost my family. My family gave up on me. Like that's Eddie's like, oh wow, like this is his mic work like at its finest, and this was because it was personal.
Right.
And that's why that's where I think everybody really fell in love with Eddie, was that moment, because that's just who Eddie is, man. And I could definitely make it. Eddie's a top 10 for me, and he's literally could be number 6 for me because I cried when that man passed away. That was literally like the one thing I looked forward to every Friday night, like SmackDown, all Eddie Guerrero, every day, any day. All I looked forward to was Eddie on SmackDown, man. So shout out to me, like that's definitely one of my goats.
The day, I was playing WWE 2K with Jet, and he was like, "Oh, who's Eddie Guerrero? Like, who's Eddie Guerrero?" I was like, so I had to tell her, and I'm like, and I like his original theme song, where he's like, Latino.
So
we were like singing it the whole day.
That's
like,
awesome. That's awesome.
Eddie was classic, bro.
He literally was like, he turned the caricature of what a Latino was, right?
Right.
Mexican American Latino, took a caricature but made it into a person, and like made people love him. Like it's crazy. Like,
yeah.
And it became more than that caricature. He became more than that. Like he then became what every Latino wrestler wanted to be. Every kid wanted to be Eddie Guerrero. The lie, cheat, and steal, coming out with the cars and the hydraulics, you know, throwing the chairs. Like he looked like he was gonna cheat, but then he would throw the chair and then fall on the floor. Like, you know, like
it's what I'm saying, bro.
It's something about Eddie that was like, ain't nobody could ever replicate.
No one can ever replicate that. Right?
Nobody could ever replicate. They try. You see them do it now. Like they'll try to do this chair and they'll like pass it around.
Oh yeah, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio been doing that. Yeah. Or no, I know, man. I just I don't know. Roman Reigns to me still needs a lot of work. That's all I'm saying. I mean, granted, he's up there now, but
I mean, it's crazy. You say
it's just that you can't compare him to these guys now, to back then.
No, facts.
Yeah.
Put him in there.
Cool. I think that's a good ending right there.